Now, if we go into the options, we can go through a few things. Audition loops, that was always an option. Widescreen, again, mostly useful for users of CRTs. Volume boost is just a little extra headroom really on the output. Little bit distorted, but good for TVs with rubbish inbuilt speakers, or like in this case I'm using a monitor. Its speakers aren't great, so the volume boost does help there. Loop song is a new feature. It means that at the end of the song it doesn't just stop. It loops back round to the beginning perfectly. One thing we're considering is actually giving you some controls in when it's playing the song. For instance, with the DJ Hero controller, you could use a crossfader to toggle between the two different beat tracks. So you can have almost use ezmuze as a live tool. Again, that's just an idea at the moment, but may well happen. Pattern grid, if we toggle that, come out, you can see that the usual grid that you see is now gone. This gives a much cleaner interface. Can get a little confusing. I personally prefer it without it, but that's because I use ezmuze a lot. So that comes down to the individual user, which they prefer here. But as it's an option, that's not a problem. Next bunch of options are the vibrate options for each pad. Now, the vibrate is actually what lights up the DJ Hero controller button that you saw before. It will also vibrate pads if you tell it to. In this case, you can see that I've got pad 1 turned off, so the pad that I'm using, Control ezmuze, does not vibrate, mostly for battery reasons. And then pad 2, which is the DJ Hero controller, that does. Pads 3 and 4 are turned on, but there's no pads connected, so nothing happens. Oh, inactive automation. This is what hides the automation for empty blocks. As we can see here, it's turned off. If I turn it back on, it will be the same as the original version of ezmuze. Automation color function not working yet. Will allow you to change the line of the automation. Having some problems with the interface of that. We had it working before, and then we changed the menu. Probably will be in, but there's no promises. Change gamepad, same as it always was. Select language. As you can see, we have a couple of options here. Not entirely translated yet, and the translation isn't great, but we will get that done before release, so more people can enjoy ezmuze. Get back to English so I can understand it. I believe, yeah, that's it. Other changes are when you quit now, you don't get the credit screen. The VU at the bottom of the screen is now fully functional. I don't know if many people noticed, but there was a few bugs in it on the original release. It now is fully responds to every channel, which also means the visualizer itself is a lot better too. I think that mostly covers everything. We have the different controls, we have the new visualizer, we have the send song functionality, we have the tempo change, which in fact no I won't, not there. Song properties, song BPM. You can see we can go up as well as down on the tempo. ezmuze handles it perfectly. There are occasionally an issue if you go up to the full 196 BPM, it doesn't quite load the samples fast enough. But on second playthrough, it's always fine. One of the reasons why we're thinking of limiting the play speed, but I personally don't believe that's a big issue. If you're working at 196 BPM, you should expect it to not quite keep up with you. That again, if you run it ezmuze from the USB stick, it will run slower, I've found, than off the hard drive. So yeah, the speed that problems can arise does depend on your Xbox, on which drive you're using, and the quality of it. Hopefully that gave a good overview of all the new features in ezmuze. Hope to release it as soon as possible. We'll let you know when it's coming out. Bye.